Hello, everybody. I'm just a guy looking at the chats coming in and happening on my computer screen in front of me. Welcome to the 56th SongBike Guitar Q&A live stream. It's Saturday. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock here. So let's have some fun. My name is Jonathan. I am here for your guitar-related questions. And in between your questions, I have a whole bunch of things to share with you. So let's do this. All right. Number 56. How about that? Number 56. Our weekly poll is up and running. We have votes coming in. The poll question, and I hope all of you get a chance to vote because this is a super interesting question to me. Knowing what you know now about the guitar, what it's like to work at becoming a better guitar player, what advice would you give to someone, especially say a parent with a kid? What's a good age to start the guitar? And I started the poll at 3 years old because I have had 3-year-old and 4-year-old guitar students. So you can vote for 3 years old is a great time to start the guitar, or 5 to 10 years old, 10 to 15 years old, or 15 to 20 years old. I decided to limit us to those choices. I could argue in favor of any one of those age brackets. So I'm very curious what you think. So go ahead and vote in that poll. We'll be here for a couple of hours. So if you can't vote right now, never fear. Okay. So yeah, let's get some votes coming in. We got 11 votes already. We just started. How do we have 11 votes? How'd that happen? Thanks for voting, you voters. Let's get some more votes coming in. Want to say happy birthday to my mom. My mom's birthday technically is Monday, but happy birthday, Mom. We're going to have a little get-together tomorrow. Sunday's a good day to get together, so we're going to do a get-together tomorrow. But happy birthday, Mom. So what do we have here? Don't forget, when you ask questions, put a bunch of question marks in advance of your questions, and that's how I know that you guys are asking me a question. Here are some things you have to look forward to if you can stick around for a few hours here with us. Some things I want to talk to you about. The guitar book that I just ordered from Amazon that's coming tomorrow. I want to tell you what that book is and why I ordered it. I think I'm going to encourage you guys to get the same exact book, but I better look at it first just to make sure. I want to share that information with you today, nevertheless. The most famous guitar in Ireland. What? I want to share that guitar with you. And why it's in the news right now. The most famous guitar in Ireland. What does that even mean? I can't wait to tell you. AARP. I know you guys are all too young to be thinking about AARP, but I happened to steal a glance at an AARP magazine recently, which had a very interesting article about music and memory. I want to share that with you, and a link to that article is already in the description of this video. A student quote of the week. I have a student quote of the week from one of my current crop of students, and I have an exercise to go along with that. The quote came from his experience working through this exercise, and I'm going to share the exercise and his quote with you guys. Of course, we have our weekly play-along song. One of the easier songs. I saw someone in the chat said, Wendy said, I hope the song this week doesn't have an F chord. Yeah, Wendy. So it does, but it's not a conventional F chord. So don't go anywhere. But you do need an F chord, sort of. We'll talk about it. We'll talk. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I think you guys are going to get a kick out of this song. I know I am looking forward to it. It's going to require very little preparation. We're going to I'm going to talk about it for 60 seconds, then we're going to get right into playing it. So stick around for that. I have a dumb question of the week. I ask them, so you don't have to, but it's a great, very dumb question. I can't wait to share that with you. What else? I just shipped one of these books out to, oh no, not that one. I shipped one of these books out to Joe from Oklahoma City. So Joe, if you're watching this, you should have got it by now. This is my hard copy book, Easy Guitar Chord and Lead Tricks. If you want to copy this book, just head on over to www.song-bike.com. I have a box of them, and I have sturdy cardboard mailers, and I mail them out to you typically the same day or the next morning after you order them. But Joe from Oklahoma City, Joe, your copy is on its way to you. I have a whole bunch of other books that are available as PDFs. Those you get instantly as soon as you purchase them. You can download them instantly on your computer. And that's one example right there. For some reason, you guys have been buying a lot of this book, the Strum Pattern Bible. And I want to say thank you. And if you don't have a copy, I think you'll get a kick out of it. You know, all those times where you figure out the chords to a song, maybe you see them posted on Ultimate Guitar or one of those websites, but they don't tell you how to strum it. All the answers are in there. That's how you strum it. Other things I want to chat with you guys about. Let's see. I have one more thing to say about the caged system. I know it seems like every other live stream we talk a little bit about the caged system. I had a little follow-up thought. Ooh, a very cool picking exercise. So make sure you have a flat pick handy. I was doing a little cross picking with a student, and I said, hey, let's go on YouTube and find some videos of some hotshot bluegrass guitar players doing some cross picking. And what I found was not exactly that. It was a great bluegrass player teaching cross picking, and I thought, oh, that's a good exercise. I'm going to pass that exercise on to my live streamers, and we'll talk about him and the exercise. And as you know, one of my favorite parts of doing this live stream with you guys is sharing what I call some of the coolest guitar players on YouTube. And we have a theme this week. Recently I've been trying to do some themes, you know. And the theme of this week is Chicago guitar players that meant a lot to me when I was in Chicago in the 1990s and learning how to play the guitar. And these are some of the players that I got to know, or at least I got to watch them play in the Chicago area in the 1990s. And it was so much fun to take a walk down memory lane and pick out sort of my favorite videos of theirs on YouTube to share with you guys. And oh man, these are terrific players. Just so you know, their names and the links to their YouTube videos are already in the description of this video. I try to do some stuff in advance before the live stream starts. So I look forward to walking you through each one of those a little bit later on in the program. Lots of good stuff. If we have time, I have a book of the week to share with you. A book featuring a famous guitar player, and lots of good stuff. Okay, so I also like to take a moment and say a few hellos. Hello, Matt. Hello, Deborah. I think, Deborah, you were the first one. Hey, Deborah doesn't have her guitar with her this week, everybody. She's visiting a relative. So everybody, you know, send your condolences to Deborah. It's hard to not have that guitar right there, right? Zulozia Zombie from Poland. Thank you for being here. Joseph, hello. Many Vibes. Hello, William Swain. Hello. A to Z Me, thank you for being here. Randy, thank you for being here. So we got a bunch of folks already. All right, well, let's get down to it. Don't forget, the number one reason why I'm here is for your questions, but I have a lot to talk to you guys about. So how about if we get right down to the most famous guitar in Ireland? It's up for auction. Whose guitar is it? I'll tell you more. Let's do a quick little test. Who is I'll say one of the most prominent, but man, he's pretty darn prominent. Irish electric guitar players. Sadly, he is no longer alive. But man, if you were to identify the cream of the crop of Irish electric guitar players, this guy would be number one amongst many people. And I see a bunch of good guesses. Randy and Many Vibes. Yeah, Rory Gallagher. Rory Gallagher was born, I think, 1947, died in 1995, and left behind several instruments, including a guitar that is now up for auction. And not only is it a valuable guitar because it's a 61 Stratocaster, it's worth a lot of money just being a 61 Stratocaster, but it's the guitar that is most associated with Rory Gallagher. He wore the paint right off of it. It's beautiful, a beautiful instrument. And it's up for auction now. I think the auction agency is called Bonham, Bonham. For those of you who have a little extra money, maybe you got a good tax refund this year or something. There's more to the story. Rory Gallagher, and I put some links to some great videos of Rory Gallagher in the description of this video. Rory Gallagher bought the guitar secondhand, made in 61. He bought it in 63. The legend, and let's assume it's true, it's the first Fender Stratocaster to ever cross the ocean and end up in Ireland, right? The first one imported in Ireland. And it ended up eventually, 2 years later, in the hands of Rory Gallagher, who played it, I assume, right up until his passing in 1995. And almost any video you see of him playing, especially if he's playing a Stratocaster, he's playing that Stratocaster. What began as a 1961 Sunburst and ended up as a 1961 piece of wood with less and less paint on it every year. So I am dubbing that the most famous guitar in Ireland, and I'm going to stick with that. But please check out any videos of Rory Gallagher playing. I was struck as I was watching his videos. I was struck by something, and I'm going to tie it in with a TV series that my wife and I are watching, the FX series called The Bear, award-winning series about people working hard to operate a Chicago restaurant. Some of you folks have watched The Bear. Okay, well, I forget what season. I guess we're in season 2 now. And this connects with my feelings about Rory Gallagher. There's a moment in the TV series when they're talking about how chefs are such good chefs. They're saying, oh, there's so many great chefs. But a character says there's certain chefs that are very inspired. What they do, it's very inspired. And I thought, ooh, that solved a little mental problem for me. There's a lot of great guitar players out there. When I watch Rory Gallagher, I say that guy is inspired. Holy cow, man, there's some passion in that playing. And as you know, talking about who's the best is not a helpful discussion. It's an entertaining discussion. But if you talk about watching someone and seeing how inspired they are and how it makes you feel, that is a very cool way to discuss your favorite guitar players. So when I was watching different Rory Gallagher live videos to pick 1 or 2 to share with you guys, that hit me like, yeah, that's what they were talking about in that scene in The Bear. You know, some people, when they do their job, they are inspired and they are inspiring. And that's my thought about Rory Gallagher. I put a second Rory Gallagher link in the description of this video because it's an acoustic song that I love so much. It doesn't have flashy guitar playing, but the song is so cool. Wheels Within Wheels, I believe is the name of the song. And I love that song. So there's 2 videos for you to check out in the description of this video. The acoustic one is just the song. It's not a performance video. Rory Gallagher, the most famous guitar in Ireland, now up for auction. And I encourage you to check out any music and especially videos so you can watch him play. So there you go. Now, Blair, you mentioned the name Gary Moore. Obviously, Gary Moore, very, very influential, awesome guitar player. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk for a minute about I want to get this caged thing out of the way because it's very short. My little thought about the cage system. I don't want to sound like I'm too hung up on it, even though I am a little bit hung up on it, because I'm a big fan of any system, any educational system, right? If the system exists and people use it, I'm curious about it as it applies to the guitar. One thought I had about the caged system, remember caged meaning C-A-G-E and D chords that spell the word caged. You take the chord, I'm going to illustrate it with a D major chord, and you use the feeling, the formation of that chord to unlock the fretboard, to help you identify the names of notes and different ways of playing chords all up and down the fretboard. It's a system that I respect, but I don't use it. And my final thought for the moment, or today's thought about the Cage system, it still requires memorization. There's a lot, when you pursue music, there's a lot of stuff you just have to memorize. There's nothing that instantly does anything if you don't have certain concepts memorized or certain phenomena memorized. And a quick example, the fact that E and F, the notes E and F, are adjacent. They're neighbors. They are everlasting friends. That means if you play the note E, the very next fret is the note F, right? That's a phenomenon that doesn't always take place. In between A and B, there's a space. There's a fret in between A and B, known as A sharp or B flat, right? So there's certain things you just have to memorize, like the relationship between B and C, or E and F. The Cage system is fascinating. I encourage you guys to check it out. You still got to memorize stuff. There's no way around that, you know. So I think that's part of the reason why I don't sit here and say, oh, you know what solves all your problems? Blah blah blah. You know, there's no instant solution. There's no magical unlocking of the neck without a certain foundation being there. You know, and that's a foundation of phenomena that you want to have memorized. You don't want to be looking back at charts and stuff like that. You know, the fact that every fret is a half step away from the next fret, right? And every note in the musical alphabet is a half step away from each other. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, and so on, right? There's certain things you just have to come to terms with, wrap your head around, and then begin a system like the Cage system, you know? So, okay, I want to throw that out there. Thank you for, in general, the whole Cage thing is something that you guys have brought up, you know, pretty regularly over the past 55 live streams. So I figured I'd throw in that last little thought I had for the day, for today, about that. You know, you still got to memorize stuff. Okay. Hey, let's get into, I can't wait to show you guys this thing from Bryan Sutton, this cross picking exercise, because it's easy to understand, but you can spend plenty of time working on it. Okay, the video that Bryan Sutton did that I watched, the link to that video is in the description of this video already. And I want to give him credit. Bryan Sutton is certainly one of the, you know, top bluegrass guitar players. I recognize his name. I'm not a student of bluegrass guitar exactly, but man, I respect bluegrass players so much. And I have aspirations to work on my bluegrass playing, even though I don't plan on joining a bluegrass band. But what it does for your chops is so good. And all those bluegrass riffs are so tasty. Let me grab a clip here. Okay, how about that? That was a good clip. Okay, so what's going on here? I'm going to show you, but I definitely encourage you ultimately to watch his video. It's a short video. It's under 10 minutes, and he is articulate and gives, you know, great examples. He runs you through several chords. I'm just going to stick on the G chord. Grab a G chord. Guess what? Any G you want to. 4-finger G, 3-finger G, as long as you have 6 good sounding strings, that's all that matters. Okay. So anytime the subject of bluegrass guitar comes up, even if you're not planning on pursuing bluegrass guitar, it's going to make you a better guitar player. So stick around. And the boom chick rhythm, boom chick, boom chick, boom chick. You want to start hearing that rhythm in your head. As soon as you hear bluegrass, you should start bopping up and down, boom chick, boom chick, boom chick, boom chick, because that is the bluegrass rhythm. That Johnny Cash kind of sound, boom chick, boom chick, boom chick, that railroad train kind of sound. Okay, so within that rhythm, Here's what we have. Slow and steady. Quick reminder, what looks like a little box means a down pluck towards your leg, a downstroke. What looks like a V represents an upstroke towards your chin. I agree that it's counterintuitive because it looks like an arrow pointing down. I did not invent this stuff. It is what it is. Okay, so boom, chick, down, up, down, up. So what is cross picking? Cross picking is exemplified by that little down, up on the 4 treble strings. Okay, cross picking is a whole entire world within the world of bluegrass playing. And the reason I was turned on by seeing Bryan Sutton teach this was the value of this. Even if you are, quote, just playing chords like in the background while someone's singing and you're just playing rhythm guitar, let me tell you folks, rhythm guitar is everything. If you are only a good rhythm guitar player, you're everybody's best friend. You've accomplished something as a guitarist, you know. I love rhythm guitar, and that's why I'm sharing this with you right now. So the alternative to this approach to a boom chick, you know, rhythm guitar would simply be going, and that gets really old really fast, right? I mean, it's a good start, but you know, there's more stuff out there. So whether you do this every single time through, or you save it for certain moments. Boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick. That's up to you. But as an exercise, it's such a great exercise. So I want you to do it with me for a moment as an exercise, but then keep an open mind about how you can use it in the future. And yeah, okay. So for those of you who either cannot see the computer screen at the moment, or you're just not comfortable with tab, grab a G chord. First thing, downstroke on the 6th string, 3rd fret. Second thing, a downstroke on the 3 treble strings. If you hit 4 strings, it's okay. If you only hit 2 strings, it's okay. But go for 3 treble strings. Okay, here comes the cross picking aspect. Down on the 4th string, up on the 3rd string, down on the 2nd string, up on the 1st string. Down, up, down. You absolutely should be watching your right hand, your picking hand, when you do this. This is not the time to say, I wonder if I can do this without looking. Please look at your picking hand. This is the time to do it. And definitely don't look at your chord, right? There's no reason to look at your other hand, right? Your fretting hand. Okay, so my challenge for you is find the speed where you can repeat this successfully with a nice flowing sound. Even if it's this slow. Boom, chick, down, up, boom. That's great. If you can do that with clear sounds and confidence, that's great. You can go even slower than that. But the timing is everything. Here's another way to describe the timing. Slow, slow, quick, 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 quick. Slow, slow, quick, 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 quick. Another way to describe it. Boom, chick, boom, ba, chicka. Boom, chick, boom, ba, chicka. How about I love watermelon. I love watermelon. Right? Lots of ways, whatever way works for you, okay? Timing is everything. Accuracy is everything. Then go as fast as you can, gradually, right? ramp it up gradually. Bluegrass music is folk music on caffeine, right? You're going to get tired of the G chord. And if you don't get tired of the G chord, someone else in your house is going to get tired of you playing the G chord. So any other chord, you will have to adjust, modify the very first note you play. For example, on a D chord, D like delta, you're not supposed to hit the fat string on a D chord, right? So you're going to have to hit something else for the very first stroke. I would suggest the open D string, the fourth string. Now, don't get too hung up on exactly which strings you start off each chord with. What's way more important, for our purposes right here, right now, what's way more important is how articulate you are. In fact, say you hit a wrong string, and you know you hit a wrong string. Don't stop and fix it. Keep right on going, fix it the next time around. Because getting that flow going, I'm on a C chord now, it's like Charlie. Now I'm kind of messing up a little bit intentionally. It doesn't sound horrible, right? I'm just not being quite as articulate as I should be. I'm not staying true to what I should be doing. And I'm on the C chord. I'm hitting the fifth string, a little brush on the treble strings, and now I'm going 4, 3, 2, 1, down, up, down, up. That's my goal. Bottom line, should you hit a wrong string, do not stop. I know it's hard, but keep right on going. Fix it the next time around. Training yourself to keep that flow going is so important. And believe me, I know it's hard. It's hard to make a mistake and not fix it, not stop and fix it on the spot. But it's worth it. It's worth it. The time when you do want to stop and fix a mistake is if you truly aren't sure of what to do. If you make the same mistake over and over again, there are times when, you want to stop and fix a mistake. But I always encourage people to play through your mistakes most of the time. You won't regret it. It can be hard, and that's why I want you to do it, because for most of you, it's hard to play through a mistake, and yet you have to. So I'm giving Mr. Bryan Sutton credit for this because he deserves it, because I watched his video and he explained this very clearly in the video. He did not invent this. I just like how he explained it. So there you go. If this kind of thing turns you on, there are entire books on cross picking. I'm sure there's many other videos out there with cross picking challenges. Even if you are not pursuing country or bluegrass guitar, it's good for you. It's like eating your vegetables. It's good for you. And how can it not be good for you? Being so specific with your picking hand, being so specific about exactly which string you're hitting with either a down or an up stroke, and getting a flow going, that ability will come in handy forever. And on that note, it's time for a taste of the cool, clear waters of East Haven, Connecticut, from the vineyards of Foxen Park. Tonight, we're trying the gasosa flavor. I Googled it before our live stream, and gasosa means gasosa. Delicious. Lemon flavor. Foxen Park soda, the pride of East Haven, Connecticut. Okay, so what do you think? It's doable, right? Number one, do you get it? Because my job, when I watch a student do this, I ask myself, does the student understand it intellectually? Number two, can the student execute it at any speed, right? Any speed. Was that Ralph Nader book, Unsafe at Any Speed? Secondly, thirdly, does a student understand why we're doing it? Some things you do just for the pure challenge of it, and that's great. That's great. I would say beyond the pure challenge of this, it's a great rhythm guitar ability to have for lots of styles, for any style of rhythm guitar playing. Okay, so hopefully you guys are good with that. All right, And do check out his video. Like I said, the link to his video is in the description of this video. Okay. Thunder Ace, hello. Candy asks, are you doing pointer finger? Candy says, are you doing pointer finger and thumb for the down, up, down, up? I'm doing it with, I'm using a pick. If you're talking about my pick, so I'm going back to the G chord. So in case it wasn't clear, yeah, I'm doing it all with a pick. So not now. If you're using bare fingers, could you do a version of this? You could. I'm so focused on doing this as a plastic picking, flat picking exercise that I want to stay focused on that. But yeah, Candy, you could adapt this to your bare fingers. Yeah, you could. Wendy is saying gasosa means gaseous. Stay tuned. Paul from the UK. Hey, Paul. Welcome back. Rock Lobster. Hello. The G chord. Yeah, Candy. I was doing the G that I favor, and the one I encourage everyone to master with middle ring and pinky. But again, in this particular exercise, it's really for any chord, and regarding the G, any fingering of the G. Bluegrass folks often like to do what I call the 4-finger G. Some people actually call it the bluegrass G, the 4-finger version of G. Pinky, skinny string, 3rd fret, ring finger, 2nd string, 3rd fret, index, 5th string, 2nd fret, middle finger stretching way across, 6th string. You could do it on that chord. Why not? In fact, I think in the video, I think that is his go-to. A lot of bluegrass players, I mean, that's their go-to G chord. And then there's the intuitive version of G, which I think just about everybody does from day one, which is the ring finger on the skinny 1st string, 3rd fret, middle finger stretching way across, 6th string, 3rd fret, and index finger, 5th string, 2nd fret. Yeah. So in this particular situation, this particular thing, I'm saying any way of doing G is okay. And the sooner you get off of the G chord, the better too, because you don't want to get sort of tunnel vision and think about the G, that this is something that only relates to G. I've had this experience, I've watched this experience where someone's doing something on a chord, and I say, okay, now do another chord, and temporarily it's chaos, because your ear is hearing this slightly or totally different thing, and it shouldn't wreak havoc in your mind, but for most of us it does. So yeah, practice on G, but as soon as possible, E minor. E minor, for example, would be the exact same combination of strings. You'd still start with a 6th string and so on. So any of the G chords, any of the E chords, E major, G7, and so on. But then as soon as possible, get over to the A minors and all your favorite chords, Hey, John, thank you for being here. John, you saw the Bob Marley video I did? Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad you made it. Excellent. Bob Marley, I think I realized I was doing so many Bob Marley videos that I made a playlist specifically of Bob Marley videos because, once I realized I had, 4, 5, 6, 7, I thought, let's make a playlist. So yeah, on my YouTube channel, that showed up that I decided it was worth it to make that happen. Make a little note here. Where are we here? Bryan Sutton. There you go, Bryan. Okay. All right. So don't forget, those of you who are just joining us, we have a poll question going. If you can get into the chat on your computer or phone, some of you guys watching this on your phone, can you access the chat on your phone? I hope you can. Hope you can access the poll. The poll question, based on your experience, when should someone begin the guitar? Oh, I realize there's a little typo there. When should someone begin the guitar? Okay. And the reason why The reason why it's an important question to me is I I've taught for so long with kids as young as 3 and 4, with a lot of good results, but I've never thought to ask adults this a question, and I'm curious what you guys think. So if you have not already voted, please do vote. Hey, Christian from Denmark. Hello. Hey, Christian, my wife and I just finished watching Unit 1, set in Denmark, right? The Unit 1, does that ring a bell? I'm sorry, I don't know if in Denmark, if the name of the show translated to something else other than Unit 1, but we liked it a lot. Very cool thriller series set in Denmark, Unit 1. Maybe you've seen it. Whenever we watch something from outside the US, we always wonder, like, ooh, was this huge in its native country? Was it not well received? Are these actors like so famous in a native country, or are they simply working actors who are doing a great job? I don't know. So you can clarify that for us. Willie Snyder, thank you for being here. Willie Snyder says that the podcast he does is about what happened to the Hartford Whalers hockey team. And Willie's asking, do I know what happened to the Hartford Whalers team? I don't. I didn't grow up in Connecticut, but I certainly had heard the name Hartford Whalers. I wasn't a hockey kid, but I can ice skate. I can ice skate based on sheer will. I will myself to ice skate, and I love it. I just take very slow, broad turns. Anyway, so no, I don't know. Hey, Buffy the Vatnik Slayer, thank you for being here. Deborah, you can access the chat on your phone. Yeah, excellent. Didn't know that for sure. Our moderator, Beginner Guitar Lessons, is here. His name is in blue. He has a blue wrench. Thank you for being here, Beginner Guitar Lessons. Okay, my friends. So what I'm about to share with you ties in with a thing we talked about last time. Remember I said if you have 20 minutes to practice, I gave you like a little rundown of like, hey, here's 4 things to do for 5 minutes each. And that's a great way to spend 20 minutes. Nothing wrong with practice for only 20 minutes. In fact, that's a great amount of time to practice if you're clear about what you want to do. Okay, so as a follow-up to my sales pitch from last week, there's a book that I want to share with you, a book that I ordered. It's going to be coming tomorrow. And for those of you if you didn't see last week's live stream, which would be number 55, head back there. It's all time-stamped, and you can zip right to the part of the live stream where I identify the things that I would, if I were you, the things that I would practice if I had just a 20-minute time frame. So the book that I ordered, I'm going to put the name of it in the chat. And the name is not going to... it's not very sexy, but from Mel Bay Publications, the complete book of, where are we here? The complete book of guitar chords, scales, and arpeggios. I know. Who comes up with these titles? And arpeggios by Bill Bay, who I believe is the son of Mel Bay. Okay. Now, the reason why I ordered this book is partly because I just can't stop myself. I've so many guitar books. I should have double checked to make sure I don't already have this one. I'm pretty sure I don't have it, but you know what? I better check. Well, it's too late. I guess I could always send it back to Amazon. Okay, so I just put the title in the chat. By the way, one reason I don't put Amazon links in the chat or in the description to buy stuff is the Amazon link always ends up being like 7 lines of text, and that's too much. No bueno. So there's the title. You don't have to get it from Amazon. The complete book of guitars, chords, scales, and arpeggios by Bill Bay. I saw a few sample pages online, and I like the presentation of it. This ties in with last week for one simple reason. if you got 20 minutes to practice, spend 5 minutes on scales, 5 minutes on chords, 5 minutes on arpeggios. The remaining 5 minutes, do what you will. That's time to work on your favorite song. Absolute fantastic way to spend 20 minutes, or simply to divide up your practice time. You got 40 minutes, spend 10 minutes on each of those things I just mentioned, you know. Absolutely what I would tell myself if I could go back in time. Great. And so it helps that if you have one book that has everything in there, right? It makes sense. So next Saturday, I will have the book in hand and will give you hopefully a thumbs up and recommend it to you guys. Because nothing like having everything in one volume, right? I believe it even had a spiral binding, which is like, it makes me so happy. Just why can't everything have a spiral binding? Especially a thick book, right? Okay, so stay tuned. I'm excited. I'm not sure if my enthusiasm is rubbing off, but I hope it is a little bit. Imagine everything in one book. Just bang out a cool practice session. Save some time to work on the tune. That's your favorite tune of the week, and that's a great use of your practice time. All in one package. Okay, so that's what's on my mind. And now you know what I'll be doing tomorrow. Okay, so my friends, every once in a while, I worry that I miss a question. So if you ask a question and I'm going on and not answering your question, feel free to repeat the question in the chat with a few question marks in advance so that I can't miss it. Okay. Quick update on my Chord-Melody book. The book part is finished. Right now, I'm just proofreading it, double checking stuff. The final song, I was going alphabetically. The final song was my arrangement, my Chord-Melody arrangement of You've Got a Friend by Carole King. Such a great song. And it almost killed me because I wanted to get her phrasing just right. It really bugs me when someone does an arrangement and if you played it exactly the way it's written, it sounds kind of stiff and not like the real song. So, made me sweat a little bit. I want to make Carole King proud. And but I think I got it. So now, like I said, the book is done. 30 Chord-Melody arrangements of all sorts of great songs, in my humble opinion. And now I'm proofreading and hoping to get to the final part of it, which is making a video, 30 little videos of each song. For those of you who are hesitant to buy a book because you think, I don't read music, I learned from watching people, that you can still use the book. It'll all be in tab, as well as standard notation. But if you don't read, quote, quote, real music, the tab is all there. Every song, I've kept the chords pretty darn simple. I mean, G, E minor, C. In fact, that's one reason why I picked the songs that I did. I picked songs that familiar chords. Remember my little checklist? I picked songs that were slow, famous, and easy chords. And some of them came from you guys, requests from you all, which is great. I know this book has been a long time coming. I'm arranging these songs all by myself. I love it, but it's time consuming. But I'm a lone arranger. I said it. Yeah. So now I have a dilemma. And a dilemma here, I got to make this video, right? Do I wait for my new guitar to arrive? I have heard from LSL Instruments in Southern California. They are putting the final touches on my guitar. Do I hold off until the guitar arrives? So I filmed the entire video, 30 little videos, with my new guitar. Should I hold off? Yeah, but when's it going to come exactly? I don't know exactly. They told me about 2 weeks, 2 weeks from whatever, Thursday, yesterday, 2 days ago. Do I wait? This book has been so long in the making. I don't want to hold off anymore, but it'd be kind of sweet to like break in the guitar, making those 30 little videos. I don't know. the guitar is the paint is done. You know, I don't know. Can I share? I haven't. You know what I've never done with you guys? Oh, a share screen. Oh my God, are you guys sitting down? Okay, let's try this. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Okay, bear with me, friends. In case you are curious, what happens when you order a custom guitar? You know what all is like. Okay, I'm going to share 2 photos with you. I have a bunch of photos. LSL Instruments was nice enough to share some photos with me because I said, look, I have people out there. I just live stream and social media and stuff. And I would love to share photos of the guitar in the process of making it. So this photo is from a couple of months ago. Let's see. There we shoot, where'd it go? Come on, you sucker. This photo is from a couple of months ago. And it was when they were just starting the process. Okay. All right, you ready? Can you see that photo right there? That's, like I said, from a couple of months ago. This is a company with only about 10 employees, including the founder of the company. And that's my guitar a couple months ago, right? Look at that. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Wow. Okay, you want to see one more? All right, here's one more. Bear with me. Close that. Okay. How about this one? Here's what it looks like as of a couple of days ago. Do I got that? No, I guess I don't have that one yet. I don't have it so you guys can see it. But I can make that happen. The painting is done. Okay, here it comes. The painting is done, or at least one decent coat is done, that's for sure. And now they still have to do some more jive, right? There's always something. Okay, now maybe I can share this with you right now. And then we'll move on, I promise. Share screen. Okay, window. Okay, here's what it looks like now. All right, there you go. Work in progress. You can see the single coil pickup is in place. The bridge is in place. They got it routed out for a P90 pickup in the neck. Can you see my cursor? There's the P90 pickup, you know, where the P90 pickup is going to go. The slot for the, you know, volume and tone and all that stuff. The holes there look like they've planned out where the Bigsby tailpiece is going to go. Very excited. Okay. So there you go. That's what's up with me. So about 2 weeks from today, I will share it with you guys. For sure, I'll have it here in the live stream whenever it comes. I mean, hopefully 2 weeks in that ballpark. So maybe I will hold off on making the video until it comes. But then again, you know, I have other guitars. You know, hey, Robbie 24-ish. It's very similar to a Telecaster. I call it a Telecaster on steroids. A few customy kind of things. From a distance, it's going to look like a Telecaster, yeah. But a big honking thick neck, and some other specs like the P90 is not typical for a Telecaster. So that's where we're at. You know. Robbie asks, is the blues book still free? Oh, yeah, this is going to be free forever, as we say on the East Coast, forever. There's the blues book. When the time is right, you guys, head over to my website and get yourself a free copy of this. It is an electronic book. You put in your email address and you get it instantly. And there is a video that goes with this. And the video is already on my YouTube channel. It's easy to find. The video is free. The book is free. Yeah. If you're so inclined, you can go and print it out and put in a beautiful spiral binding. I think it cost me maybe $10 to do that at my local Staples store. So yeah, very, very free. Why would I give away something for free? For lots of reasons. Lots and lots of reasons. So. Oh, thank you for the kind words about the guitar, you guys. I'm very excited. Deborah, the wood is ash. Ash or alder. Hold on. I should know this off the top of my head. I have, it's the opposite of the one I already have. I have a Fender, actual Fender Telecaster. And yeah, and that one's ash. So this one I decided to go with alder, simply because I want to be different than what I already have, and they were so nice. They sent me a handful of photos like the one I showed you, from when they're first, when it's still unpainted, and they also sent me some videos too, and of different, like, they're sanding and drilling a hole for the output jack and stuff. Oh, so nice of them. I originally, when I ordered the guitar, I didn't want to get my hopes up, but I said, hey, if you guys, if it's possible, just some picture of some guy holding up the neck and just saying, here's Jonathan's neck of his guitar. I said, I would love that, and I'll share it. And so they went a little bit above and beyond, and that was so nice of them. So yeah, LSL Instruments out of Southern California. So yeah, okay, that's what's up. Okay, my friends. So I can't wait to share with you my dumb question. Now is as good a time as any to ask a dumb question. Why don't famous people just teach us all how to play their songs? Why don't they write the books? They would get to keep all the money. You'd watch their videos instead of watching videos by jokers like me, right? Here's so-and-so showing you how to play his songs. Here's the book of how he plays his songs. Why don't they do it? There's a story, true story, I guess, the best kind, the true kind. Paul Simon reached out to some YouTuber who said, you're teaching my song wrong. And I think the YouTuber made a video of that. Like, Paul Simon told me I'm teaching a song wrong. That must be so irritating for these people to see, some that's not 100%. Or maybe someone with the best intentions say, hey, look, here's a really easy way to play such and such a song. And they really dumb it down. Nothing wrong with that. But I mean, does that ever bug the actual songwriter or performer? Maybe, right? So why don't they just do it? I mean, it's their song. They know how to play it. How long could it possibly take? They could make a 2-minute, take 2 minutes of their lives, and they make a video on how to play their songs. And and I would get a bazillion views, because wouldn't you like to see the actual person doing it slowly and just showing you, and all these books. I mean, they, books of transcriptions, how to play so-and-so. Now, in some cases, sadly, the performer is long gone, right? Long gone. But in other cases, I mean, they're around. I don't know. There's my dumb question of the week. Why don't they do it? I don't know. There's money to be made. Plus the attention, all those views, man, they get all those views. The one thing that came to mind as I was formulating this dumb question is, years ago, I came across James Taylor doing exactly what I'm talking about, showing you how to play James Taylor songs with a video camera, tiny camera inside the guitar, so you could look at his picking hand from the inside of the guitar. Is so cool. And I'm sure those videos are still out there. They must be. James Taylor teaching like his own greatest hits. So cool, right? I mean, it still kind of blows my mind. Then again, it's not mind-blowing. It's that the person is showing you how to play this song. What could be more routine than that, right? But in general, as you know, most performers don't take the time to do that. It does take time, Who's the guy from Australia who married Nicole Kidman? He has those videos, right, on playing guitar, right? I haven't. I assume it's a combination of how to play his songs. Good old, what's his name? I'm totally blanking on his name. No offense, Keith Urban. Sorry. Oh boy. And maybe Keith Urban also teaches some fundamentals. I'm guessing. I have no idea. I don't watch YouTube guitar videos if I can avoid them, unless it's a song I'm trying to learn. But I don't know. I can guess why they don't do it. There's not that much money in it. It's time consuming. You really have to use a different part of your brain. Imagine performing a song for decades, and now people like us are saying, oh, how do you play that song? It's got to be a different part of your brain that you have to access to like slow it down and think carefully. What if they don't play it the same way every night? It's extremely likely that they're not comfortable saying this is the one way I play the song every time. I don't know, beginner guitar lessons is suggesting that maybe they're not great teachers. Yeah, they might not be comfortable. It's not for everybody. It's a unique way of looking at music. Teaching is just a unique perspective. Just like performing it is a unique perspective. Creating it, composing music is as well. So, yeah. So those are some of my guesses as to why, in general, you don't see a whole lot of people doing that. Not a whole lot of money in it. It's time consuming. It might bend their brains a little bit in a way they just don't feel like it, maybe they want to retain the mystery, maybe they are doing some stuff that they don't want us to figure out too quickly and too easily, maybe it just never occurred to them. And why should it, man? They're living their best life. And, Wendy says the camera inside the guitar is like getting a sonogram picture. Is that what you mean, Wendy? Yeah, okay. Only a woman, only a wise woman would use that, would come up with that comparison. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So yeah, do check out James Taylor. And for all I know, there are many, many, many poor people who do, but I don't come across them much myself. But when James Taylor, when I saw that, I thought, that's amazing. Like, how cool is that? How illuminating. And hey, even if they don't play the song the same way every night in performance, then that is cool information too. Like, well, what do they do that's different? What is out there in a huge quantity is, as you guys know, tons of amazing players showing stuff. Bryan Sutton, and thousands of others, people who are musicians, and then other regular people who just want to teach cool stuff, So there's no lack of information out there, but that's my dumb question. Okay, moving on. Okay, hey, you know what? 6 o'clock. We've been at this an hour. It's 6 o'clock here on the East Coast. Let's do it. Let's do our play along song of the week. You ready? I'll show you the two chords you need. I can't believe I didn't do this song before. I think the reason I didn't do this before is I wanted to just double check to make sure I really understood correctly how easy it is to at least get up and running playing this song. Okay, our play along song of the week. From Fleetwood Mac, the song called Dreams, based on two chords. Now, as promised, I'm going to make this introduction as short as possible. You need two chords. There they are. F major 7, G6. Quick disclaimer. There's a lot of very cool stuff going on in this song. There's keyboard, for example, electric keyboard. There's some cool harmony things happening. Before the chord police come after me, yes, we are simplifying the song by limiting it to those two exact chords. In my defense, it works, and any subtle harmonic things that go beyond these two chords are exactly related to those two chords. It is a two-chord song. But yes, there's other little things that are going on that are beyond the scope of this live stream. So stand down, you chord police. What you have in front of you are two pretty easy chords that are going to serve you very well if you want to play this tune and sing it. Okay, F major 7. Notice the open skinny E string. Remember, Wendy, when you said, I hope today's song doesn't have an F chord. So the beautiful thing here is you don't have to squeeze the two strings. In fact, it's really, really important that the open skinny first string is audible. F major 7. In case it's not clear, your ring finger should be reaching over the furthest. Ring finger, 5th string, 3rd fret. Pinky, 4th string, 3rd fret. Middle finger, 3rd string, 2nd fret. Index finger, 2nd string, 1st fret. Open skinny string. Again, we have to hear the open skinny string. Just avoid the fat string. No fat 6th string. You may see my left thumb reaching over. And as a little insurance policy, I'm just dampening the 6th string with my left thumb reaching over. You do not have to do that. You could make an effort to actually get the note F going on the 6th string, 1st fret. It's just not that important, not for our purposes right now. So don't get hung up on the 6th string, just avoid the 6th string. Glide that chord up 2 frets. You've got the other half of the song. A G6 chord. I did not change my formation at all. And the open skinny first string is still crucial. You have to have that skinny string open. That's how we can get away with only 2 chords. Well, only these 2 specific chords, is because that open 6th string is adding a really beautiful, important harmonic note. Okay, we're going to do this in a minute, so don't go anywhere. This is about to start. 4 beats on the F major 7, 4 beats on the G6, over and over and over. Again, that's it. We're ready to go. When I first start the tune, I am going to stay with 4 strums. 1, 2, 3, 4 on each chord. Once we get up and running, I'm going to let go of the bicycle. You're going to keep riding without me. I'm going to get some downs and ups going, okay? You're welcome to join me. I hope you do. You're also welcome to stay with the 4 down strokes. To the best of your ability, slide your fretting hand. Do not lift your fingers off the strings. There's no reason to lift your fingers off. It'll only mess you up, okay? If you get off track, grab one or the other of the chords and wait for it to come back around again and join us. The song's going to go on for a couple of minutes, and there's only 2 chords, okay? Are you ready to do this? Okay, I'm ready if you're ready. I'll do it without vocals for a couple strums and then let the fireworks begin. I'll see you on the other side. Got your F chord, F major 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here you go again, you say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel. But listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness, like a heart drives you mad. In the stillness of remembering what you had, what you lost, what you had, and what you lost. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come, they will go. But when the rain washes you clean, you'll know. You'll know. Now here I go again, I see the crystal vision. I keep my visions to myself. Who wants to wrap around your dreams? And have you any dreams you'd like to sell? Dreams of loneliness like a heartbeat drives you mad. In the stillness of remembering what you had, what you lost, what you had, what you lost. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come, they will go. Or when the rain washes you clean, you'll know. You'll know. You'll know. So here's a question for you. What key were we in just then? Because you guys know I like to say, hey, if you want to solo along, blah, blah, blah. So what key were we in? Weird question, right? 99% of the time, the key you're in is represented by one of the chords. Are we in the key of F right here? No. Are we in the key of G right here? No. It's kind of a weird, right? Kind of weird. A to Z me gets the quote of the night. A to Z me says, Stevie Nicks could not have sung it better. Why not? Is she sick? Thank you, A to Z me. That is the quote of the night. I could use a laugh. So yeah, Chris Creates is saying, E or E minor. Willie Snetter saying C. Are we in the key of C? Willie, I'm going to go with you, although it's awkward, man. It's awkward. Yeah, Randy, the key of A minor. What key are we in right here? So I tried soloing over the song in the preparation for tonight's live stream using C major scales and C major pentatonic scales. It just sounded kind of blah, although F and G, even in these modified forms, F major 7, G6, are chords that are 100% in the key of C family, 100%. But like I said, the key of C major scale, the C major scale, and the C major pentatonic just didn't sound particularly interesting. As some of you might know, C major pentatonic and A minor pentatonic are the same 5 tones. So the key of A minor pentatonic wasn't so great. So for the moment, I'm going to say the key of C is the closest. There's a certain logic behind saying we're in the key of C. I've never come across a song that I know of where the key wasn't represented by one of the chords. I've written a couple of songs that are kind of goofy. But in terms of famous songs, yeah, kind of weird. What I would like to do, which I'm not able to do at the moment, is to say, oh, bang, use that scale and it sounds great to solo on top of this. I'm full of ideas. Don't get me wrong. I'm full of ideas. There's plenty of ideas. But at the moment, I don't have a short, sweet answer to say, here's what you do. You know, yes, you could solo on top of this with a C major scale or C major pentatonic, and it's okay. It's okay. C major pentatonic, starting on the fat string, 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8 on the two skinny strings, right? You know, that is both the C major pentatonic and it has its alter ego. It is also called the A minor pentatonic. It's okay. I didn't love it, you know. So Candy says, how can we figure it out? I don't know. Like I said, I have ideas. You could arpeggiate the chords. You could play F major 7 up the neck and arpeggiate it. An easy way to play an F major 7 chord. The 3 treble strings bar at 5. Those 3 notes are all part of an F major 7 chord. You could, you know, arpeggiate those. And when after 4 beats, when the song changes to G major 6, a G major 6 is a 4-note chord, and 3 of the 4 notes are the same as an E minor chord. So you could like grab an E minor chord anywhere on the neck. Hey, how about 12, 12, 12? I mean, that's an E minor chord, 3 treble strings, 12, 12, 12. How about 7, 8, 9? You know, that's an E minor chord, 7 on the skinny string, 8 on the next, 9 on the next. So arpeggiating chords is always a tasteful way to play a solo or to add cool sounds, to layer sounds. Remember, not every guitar solo has to be a bombastic enterprise. You know, maybe a better way of putting it is, if you're going to overdub tasteful little guitar sounds, arpeggiating both of those chords up the neck would be a really tasteful way to do that. I don't know. Ask around. Ask your guitar teacher. Report back next week. Yes, I see a great question, Chaz. Chaz saying, why is it called G major 6? Or why? Well, we're not in the key of G. You said, why isn't it called G major 6? You mean, why is it called G major 6? I'm going to assume you're saying, why is this chord called G major 6? Which I love answering that question. It's all because of the open, skinny E string. Obviously, that's the note E right there, right? And E is the 6th note of a G major scale. So by adding that note, you are creating a 4-note chord instead of a 3-note chord. And that 4th note, the note E, adds a beautiful, colorful touch. And we get it for free, right? It's an open string. We get it with no effort whatsoever. And F major 7, which is also the open E string, but in this context, the open E note, the sound, the E, open E string, E is the 7th note of an F major scale. So that's why this is called the F major 7. E is the 6th note of a G major scale. That's why that's called G6. Yeah, beginning guitar lessons is on it. Answering the question too. Excellent. So A to Z Me says, we are in the key of melancholy. Yes, but what saves this song for me from getting too melancholy is, remember that dude skateboarding to work with a cranberry juice? You guys remember this, right? It was the pandemic. You had to be there. But you know what I'm talking about? I'll put the link to that in the description of this video as well. The story is a guy's vehicle broke down, and instead he skateboarded to work. And on his way to work, he filmed himself with a selfie stick kind of thing, skateboarding to work, singing along with Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, and drinking cranberry juice. And it went viral. Ocean Spray ended up giving him like a lifetime supply, or a truck bed full, at least, a truck bed of Ocean Spray cranberry juice, because that's what he was drinking. And they put it in the back of a bright red pickup truck, which I think they also gave him, you know, kind of a feel-good story. Like I said, it was the pandemic. Some of you might be too young to remember, but things were funny back then. You know, we laughed at things whenever possible, right? So yeah. Anyways, that's what, for better for worse, I will always associate this song with that Mr. Cranberry Juice and heading to work. Because, we've all been there, right? We've all been there where stuff happens. Could be your vehicle broken down. And whatever you're going to get done, you still have to get it done. So sometimes you hop on the proverbial skateboard and just get it done. Yeah, I've been there. I have been there. Chaz, thank you for your super chat. I appreciate that. Now is as good a time as any to encourage any of you who want to support this live stream financially. Just click on that $ down at the bottom of the chat, and you can make a super chat donation just like Chaz did. That is only one way to support what we're doing here. Remember, the other way, head on over to song-bike.com. Maybe you want to get yourself something else. In a way, you are still 100% supporting the live stream by making a purchase, but you get something. I really love this book, The Guitar Year One. Lots of cool stuff. Tab, free video, all killer, no filler, if I say so myself. So yeah, that's a way to support what we do here every week and get a little something for it. And you know what? I am totally okay with that. Again, you head over to SongBike, you buy the book, and you get it instantly because it's an electronic book. And get yourself a little something. Randy, thank you for your super chat. I appreciate that, Randy. Willie Snyder asked a question. Willie Snyder asks, do I sing karaoke? Do I have a favorite song to sing? I have never sung karaoke. I would need maybe another 1 or 2 gasosas. I'm not opposed to it. I think karaoke is awesome. But so no, I don't have a specific song. Am I right that essentially you can pick pretty much any song because you're essentially accessing the internet and really any, within reason, any popular song is available as a karaoke song. Is that right? I've never done it. I would love to. I think I would need, one beer and 2 nachos, or maybe 2 beers and 1 nacho, and then I'd be on it. Oh yeah. Now here's my idea. My wife is like, "Oh really? Oh, she's gonna hold me to that." Hi, sweetie. No, I would do it. Willie Snyder says, I sang War Pigs on a live stream. There you go. All right. Guitar karaoke. Somebody do this. You know what I'm talking about? Imagine you show up at the bar with your guitar. They have amplifiers. They have everything you need. Just bring your own guitar. I mean, maybe they even have a house guitar, but wouldn't you rather have your own guitar? And literally, you pick a song, and they play the song, and you play the guitar along with the song. The song has everything but the guitar part. Guitar karaoke. Wouldn't that be awesome? I mean, I think that's maybe not $1 million idea, but one of you should still do it. Someone should do it. How fun would that be? I mean, it's exactly the karaoke experience, but for guitar players. Great idea. The technology exists. It's no big deal to remove a guitar track. Remember that? I'm going to put it again in the chat. Remember that thing called Moises AI? I'm putting it in the chat here. It's an app, a free app, at least you can get a free version of it, that separates a song, separates the vocals from the guitar, from the drums. You remember this? If not, you guys got to try it out. It's the real deal. Even the free version, it works great. And all of a sudden, you can hear just one aspect of the song. It's kind of mind-blowing. Anyways, guitar karaoke. Somebody make that happen. I'll be the first in line to do guitar karaoke. Kenny, I see your question. And I'm going to get to it, Kenny. I want to make sure I didn't miss any other questions. Deborah had to take off. I get that. The thing about famous musicians showing you how to do what they do, Willie's like, it's like a magician's showing you how they do their tricks. Yeah, I get that. I don't know. I get it. Okay. Willie says, what I'm describing is kind of what we do on a karaoke live stream, but you sing and play a guitar, but the musical track still has the pre-existing guitar, but you play along with it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, wow. A to Z Me. You just blew my mind. A to Z Me says there's a YouTube channel called DRUMEO. I've heard of DRUMEO. Yeah. DRUMEO. And on DRUMEO, they have a segment where they invite famous drummers and ask them to listen to a drumless track of a song they don't know and see what they come up with. It's great. Oh, I love that so much. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. You guys know I'm a recovering drummer. The vast majority of my musical training has been as a drummer. Love it. Love it. So thank you for turning me on to that. I love that. I have a handful of drum students and during the week. And I'm gonna check that out and see if I can incorporate that into drum lesson. I'm sure it's possible. You know, there's a live one-on-one drum lesson. I love it. Are any of you old enough to remember Downbeat magazine, the jazz magazine? Maybe they still do this. They get a well-known musician and they play maybe 10 tracks, random jazz tracks from, not random, but, you know, diverse jazz tracks from diverse musicians, and have the guest musician react and critique each one that they're hearing. And I used to love, I haven't read that for a long time. I used to love that. Well, number one, it's so cool how many of the guests recognized every single thing, you know, or they would take really educated guesses and be correct, you know. And they were, you know, their comments are always so interesting. I love hearing musicians talk about other musicians, especially if it's done in an articulate, in an articulate way, coming from a good place. I love that. It's just a unique perspective, as opposed to reading music journalists, music critics, or just what your buddy thinks about whoever, you know. I love hearing musicians talk about other musicians. Very cool. Okay, A to Z Me, I'm going to remember that. Very cool. Okay, my friends, now we are not done by a long shot, but there's a few more things on my agenda here that I don't want to forget about. Hey, let's do that thing with the coolest guitar players on YouTube. In each, I have about half a dozen of these. Again, the theme for tonight's episode of some of the coolest guitar players on YouTube, the theme is Chicago guitarists who I became familiar with when I lived in Chicago, right around the 1990s. And so this is very personal to me. Couldn't be more personal, because this is exactly who the people I was listening to as I got my chops together. And I like to think there's a pretty good variety of people in here. So, okay, let's start right at the top. My buddy Jim Craig. You guys might remember at some point, more than once, you guys have asked me, you know, who are your influences? And I typically name some famous folks that you guys have heard of, you know. But at one point, I remember saying to you guys, many of us are influenced by the person who lives next door, the person in your town, the person who, you know, you hear them on a regular basis, or they're, you know, that you hear something they do and you think, oh, I want to do that thing that my buddy did, or my cousin, or my neighbor. So for me, that was Jim Craig. I worked in a guitar shop in outside Chicago for a decade, and I loved everything about his style, and it just meant a lot to me to get to know him, and to watch him perform, and watch him pick up a guitar in the shop, and noodle around a little bit. And we're still in touch, and he's a great guy, and I loved going to see him perform. But I also, you know, it's great to know someone on a personal level and see them as a performer, you know. So Jim Craig, very cool fingerstyle guitar playing. He is what I call a songster, and I think that's an accurate musicological term. Someone whose repertoire is so broad that it's clear they are presenting music in song form in such a broad sense. It just shows like a respect for the craft of songwriting, a respect for the value of a song. And I would hear him play a song, and I'd find out later that it was a song written by so-and-so, but his version just seemed so definitive to me. Always. Ultimately, I came back to his version of it. Like, well, I like that. You know, it's nice someone else wrote it, but no, he owns that song in my mind. So yeah, so Jim Craig, fingerstyle guitar. We're also friends, but who's a bigger influence on you than your friends, you know? And it was fun finding a video of him on YouTube to share with you guys. Another friend, Johnny Bergen, also known as Rockin' Johnny. Johnny and I are almost the exact same age. In fact, I think Johnny has a birthday coming up in the next week or two. Johnny Bergen, Burgin, blues guitar player, travels the world. I wouldn't be surprised if Johnny has been on every continent. I'm pretty sure he's been on every continent. I'd be surprised if he hasn't performed on every continent. When I was a young guy in Chicago, people kept telling me, you got to meet Rockin' Johnny Bergen. I was at one college, he was at another college, so we didn't, you know, I was on the north side, he was on the south side. But enough people told me that I thought, okay, I got to go meet this Johnny Bergen guy. And oh man, he was to my base, you know, I was still pretty green. It's fair to say I was not a particularly advanced guitar player, and he had it together. From my point of view, he had a band. He was playing in blues clubs and other clubs all over Chicago, playing great blues guitar. And I was and am a big fan of Johnny Bergen. So Johnny Bergen is on tour right now. He'll be coming wherever you live. I don't care where you live. He's going to be coming through where you live before long. So keep your eyes open for Johnny Bergen. And there's a Johnny Bergen video in the link in the description of this video. But also Johnny Bergen puts out instructional videos himself. He has a thing, I believe, every Monday where you can see him teach classic blues songs from a real insider perspective. I can teach you guys blues songs. I look at a blues book, I learn it, and then I teach you. Johnny learned it from the guys who actually played it, you know, and also from doing really deep dives into the recordings. And I respect that so much. So when you check out Johnny Bergen on YouTube, make sure you go to his actual channel as well and check out his instructional stuff, which is very cool. Okay, a couple more. Robbie Fulks, Fulks. Robbie Fulks is alive and well and out there performing and doing what he does. Fantastic songwriter with real bluegrass chops. The first time I saw Robbie Fulks was not as a singer-songwriter. It was my first time seeing a bluegrass band up close. It was freshman year of college. I was probably... I only played the guitar for a couple of years before I went to college. And let me assure you, I was no good at the guitar. And there was Robbie Fulks doing the fastest acoustic flat picking I'd ever seen in my life. Now, I had seen very little bluegrass playing in my life, but man, I didn't know people could go that fast on the guitar. And I have no idea why I didn't just quit. But that was Robbie Fulks around 19, I don't even know when, late 80s. And he was playing the guitar with a Chicago bluegrass band called the Special Consensus Bluegrass Band. I don't know how long he was with them, but before long he was making a name for himself, doing his own solo stuff. So Robbie Fulks, when you see him perform, the songs are great. If you keep your eyes open, you'll see him doing lots of cool flat picking stuff during the song, you know. So check him out for sure. Robbie Fulks, he's got a lot of albums out, and you'll love him. Okay, how about Lurie Bell, Lurie, Bell, Bell, the son of Carrie Bell. Lurie Bell was the most intense blues performer I ever saw close up in Chicago. Chicago is full of blues clubs where you never know who you're going to see. And one night I saw Lurie Bell right up close and personal in a small bar. Yeah, the most intense blues experience I've ever had, and just really made a huge impression on me. So I recommend checking out any videos of him performing. I think I picked a really great one and put a link to that video in the chat. Just two more. Dennis Kehew, Cahill. Sadly, Mr. Kehew is no longer with us. but he was certainly a musician's musician. I came to know him two ways. I was teaching his nephew to play the guitar, and I found out, whoa, you're Dennis Cahill's nephew? But his nephew, by the way, had tons of natural talent. It was without a doubt one of the best students I ever taught. I'm talking about you, Matthew. The times I saw Dennis Kehew perform was as an acoustic guitarist, playing in an Irish trio, guitar, violin, and accordion concertina. So the link I chose to present from Dennis Kehew, the one I'm sharing with you in the description of this video, he happens to be backing up a world-class fiddle player named Martin Hayes. And I don't know, I got 32 of you watching right now. Maybe some of you know who Martin Hayes is, from the County Clare in Ireland. One of the most beautiful sounds you're ever going to hear, period, is Martin Hayes playing the violin. So the link I'm sharing with you guys is Dennis Kehew on the guitar. I take no responsibility if you guys turn into Martin Hayes fans and just stop listening to whatever you're currently listening to and listen to nothing but Martin Hayes for a few weeks. Absolutely beautiful music. Last one, in no particular order, Dave Spector just happens to be the last one. Dave Spector, Specter. I would go see Dave Spector play blues guitar around Chicago, and he had great chops. He played all these instrumental tunes, so it showed me what a guitar player could do. No vocals, obviously, just melodies, chops, soloing, a super tight band. He always looked sharp, man. He always had like a coat, a suit on, looked like $1 million. Such a pro, just playing song after song. And I'd be the guitar nerd in some like hopping nightclub in Chicago where like people are socializing and dating and like drinking and being adults. And I'd be there with like my rum and coke watching the band, which is fine. But after like 3 hours, it's like I probably freaked out more than one musician in Chicago. Like, what's up with that guy watching the band for 3 hours? That was me. Anyway, so Dave Spector, I always enjoyed an opportunity to see Dave Spector play. So there you go. Some of the coolest guitar players on YouTube, the Chicago edition. Not all, but some of those performers are definitely still out there performing, recording, and you can find more of the videos on YouTube. And if you're lucky, they're coming right through your town, Okay, hey, Zoologia Zombie says, thank you for these streams. You're a great teacher. I appreciate that. And thank you for your super chat. I appreciate that. As I said, absolutely one of my favorite parts of these nights with you guys is I get to plug certain people. And tonight was obviously a kind of a personal one for me. Among my many thoughts when I was, assembling, this list of performers and watching their videos and picking ones that I thought were like, really great videos, I thought, dang, man, like I was super fortunate to be in a environment like in a city, a major U.S. city where there's just talented people. You'd throw a slice of Chicago pizza and you'd hit 4 great guitar players. And hey, I'm just talking about guitar players. I can't talk about Chicago without mentioning one more. Jazz violinist Johnny Frigo, Frigo. I used to see Johnny Frigo on Monday nights for free. How cool is Johnny Frigo? I'll tell you how cool Johnny Frigo was. Johnny Frigo wrote a song that Billie Holiday recorded. The song called Detour Ahead. In fact, a lot of people recorded that song, but come on, man. When Billie Holiday records one of your songs. So I would go see Johnny Frigo on Monday nights on the North Side, classy little bar. The first time I went there, I realized I wasn't really dressed appropriately. I think I had like a t-shirt and jeans, and that was not cool, Johnny Frigo on violin, his buddy on piano, and I would, doing just beautiful jazz violin. And I would look around and just think, I can't believe like somebody pinched me, man. This guy is a legend. And I'm seeing him for free on a Monday night, every Monday night. Yeah, there I was at the bar watching hour after hour of Johnny Frigo. Very cool. All right. Thank you for listening, my friends. Okay. I am here for your questions. Willie, it's funny you should mention this, Willie. Willie is asking, have I heard of Alex Skolnick? I have. Next week, I'll share with you a little Alex Skolnick thing that he shared on social media. But Willie, I'm curious, why do you ask? Why did his name pop up in your head? I know Alex Skolnick, he made a name for himself doing essentially hard rock metal kind of stuff, right? Which is not like my cup of tea. But when I see his posts on social media, I realize that I really like his point of view, I think. And so I think I'm a fan of Alex Skolnick without knowing too much about his career. I just like seeing the stuff he posts. And next week I'll share a little Alex Skolnick info with you guys. But I'm curious really why his name popped in your head. Okay. Again, you guys, I am here for your questions. Oh, Candy, I see what you wrote here. Candy said, Candy, I hope you're still around because I realize I've been chatting and chatting and chatting. Candy says, Jonathan, can you run through a couple of C chords at the top of the neck? Yeah, I mean, high up. Sure, let's do it. This is the kind of thing, my friends, that I will put in the, I'll put the tab in the description of this video. C chords up and down the neck. Why not? Okay, so we have our standard C chord, the first 3 frets, right? The next one up the neck, whether you want to call this an inversion, or I prefer the term voicing, another voicing of a C chord, 3-5-5, the 3 treble strings, 3-5-5, index. First skinny string, 3rd fret. I like to use my pinky and ring on the next 2 strings, 5th fret, 3-5-5. But only those 3 strings, the 3 treble strings, 3-5-5. It's a great C chord. How about a 1-finger C major chord? I'm doing a partial bar at the 5th fret. I'm only going to pick the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. I can't help but to squeeze the first skinny string, but I'm ignoring it. That is a C major chord. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings, 5-5-5 is a 1-finger C major chord. Okay, moving up. How about C with the F formation? 8-8-9-10. It's going to feel exactly like an F chord. Okay, index finger, little bar on the 2 8s, 8 on the first string, 8 on the second string. Middle finger, 3rd string, 9. Ring finger, 4th string, 10. There's a C major chord. The next one up the neck is going to feel like a D chord. D as in delta, 12, 13, 12. Right? Gets that mandolin kind of sound as you get high up like that. Don't forget, just in case some of you could use a reminder, we know where 12 is because of 2 double dots, right? For some random reason, Martin Guitars put 2 double dots at 7 as well. I cannot explain that. But almost every guitar I've ever seen, if it has any dots, it has 2 dots at 12. Okay, so there's a bunch of C chords that will keep you hopping up and down the neck. And there's more, but if we focus on the 3 treble strings, those are the C chords that'll keep you busy. Thank you, candidates. I love illustrating stuff like that. Okay. Willie says Alex Skolnick has a blues thing going on called the Alex Skolnick Trio. I know they're on tour right now from his social media page. Hey, speaking of social media, you guys, I would appreciate a follow. You can go over to Instagram or Facebook. Just do a search for the term SongBike. You'll find me. And you'll get little reminders of stuff when my Chord-Melody book is for sale. That's one way I will announce it. When I get my new guitar, That's one way I will announce it, you know. Okay, so A to Z me, I see what you put in the chat. I'm not going to address that, okay? But I see what you put there in the chat. Okay. Hey, let's talk about the AARP. What do the A's stand for? Association Advancement American Retired People, AARP. I saw the magazine recently, and there was a big article in the magazine about music and memory. The good news, music helps your memory, you know. I'm fascinated, so fascinated by this whole topic. And so I put the link to the AARP article in the description of this video. The only bummer is I'm not patient enough. I don't make the time to do a deep dive. So when I read articles like this, I encourage you guys to check it out. They kind of state what we kind of already know. They confirm what we kind of already know. If you play an instrument, it's good for you, period. So every time I read that, I realize I want to know a lot more, and I want to know where that research is leading, what questions are being asked. I want to know a lot more. And I get a little bit frustrated and disappointed because I realize if you want to know more, you have to make the time for it and dig deeper yourself and educate yourself, right? So I encourage you guys to check out this article. The only reason I'm saying I was frustrated by it was like, yeah, we all know that music is good for your brain. We get it. Like, what's somebody give us more to work with? You know, I don't know, some more tangible stuff, which of course is out there, right? I get it. But it doesn't mean the article is not an interesting article. I encourage you guys to read it. And one of the things it mentions is a woman who was at the forefront of music therapy as a scientific pursuit back in the 70s, who got the brilliant idea to go to a hospital wing that was devoted to dementia patients who, according to the article, back in the 70s, dementia patients were being basically ignored. You know, let's put them in a special wing and just, you know, give up on them. And she played music for them. I think she's playing the accordion and singing tunes, music that she thought they would, based on their age, thought they would recognize. And miracle of miracles, I shouldn't say these people, dementia sufferers would come to life, so to speak. And you guys have probably seen a lot of the same videos that I have, where people with different neurological issues are so profoundly affected by hearing, especially music of their youth, music that meant something to them. I mean, I get choked up when I see those videos. So the AARP article mentions her by name and credits her as being a pioneer in this type of thing. And it's awesome. I mean, I love it. I want to know more. And someday, I don't know, I'll go on a cruise and I'll bring a few books, and I'm sure there's TED Talks and stuff. But like I said, we all get that music is good for your brain. So what's next? Like, how do we benefit constantly, immediately, in great, profound ways every day? So what do we do? Intuitively, if you're here watching this, you know music is good for you, period. So we all agree, right? And I don't think there's a whole lot of argument about that. But how do we benefit the most? The day is going to come. Mark my words. The day is going to come sooner or later when playing your instrument is going to be as acceptable and common as going to the gym, as eating healthily, you know? And so you report like, oh, I'll be back in half an hour. I got to do my 20 minutes on my instrument. And people would say, oh, yeah, I got to get to my instrument today too. Yeah, I got to do that. The same way we talk about going to the gym or doing yoga, or, hey, I'm cutting back on sugar, whatever, you know. Playing your instrument will be, I can't think of the best word for it. Not only acceptable, but it'll be assumed, you know, or encouraged in that way. Like, yeah, man, you know, You really should be doing that every day. Just you got to do that, like 8 hours of sleep or 8 glasses of water. And I'm sure there are cultures out there where it's seen more that way. Some of you might have this reaction or might get this reaction that playing an instrument, people in your life might see it as a luxury or a hobby or a weird thing that you do. Quick story. I had a student one time, an adult, came to his lesson and his guitar was especially cold. It was a decent acoustic guitar and it was like really cold. It was a cold day. And I said, hey man, you can't let your acoustic guitar or any guitar get cold like this. It's bad for the wood. He's like, yeah, it's been in my car while I was at work. I said, well, you got to bring it into work with you. He said, I can't let my coworkers see that I play the guitar. That just can't happen. Woo. I mean, you see what I mean? Like that will not always be the case. You know, you show up with someone sees a yoga mat in the back of your car. They're not gonna be like, why is there a yoga mat in the back of your car, right? They're gonna be like, oh man, yeah, I should get into yoga. Yeah, I really should do that. Or you're carrying around a water bottle with a big, like 1 liter of water, you know, no one's gonna look at you and say, like, dude, why do you have a water bottle, right? Someday, music will take that. We'll be that. We'll be like that. We're not there yet, that's for sure. Not yet. I'm trying. You're trying. You're doing it. Keep doing what you're doing. We need you. We need you to normalize this stuff, right? You know, normalize it. Yeah, therapeutic, Rock Lobster saying medicinal, Wendy Hutchinson. Yeah, you guys are 100% right, but we don't even know the half of it. We don't know. We know it's good for us. Just like when they find some vegetable or something that turns out to be a lot better for us than we even knew. You know, it's gonna, yeah, music is. It could be a few generations down the road. Sadly, it could be. I know it could be, but it's gonna happen. Okay. Hey, we're not going to end right this second, but that would be a nice note to end on, right? Jake Fussell. I'm a big fan of Jake Fussell, Fussell. I just got his new record. It's very cool. I don't know Jake. I follow him on social media, but please check him out. And I'm putting his name in the chat. You guys have heard me mention him before. Okay. I will put a link to his new stuff in the description of this video. The word tasteful gets thrown around a lot. He's so tasteful. I love his taste so much. Just sweet finger picking, great vocals, great taste in material, great arrangements. I am a Jake Fussell fan. He tours all the time too. He's on tour right now promoting his new album. So keep your eyes open for Jake Fussell. But it is a pleasure to throw his name in the chat. And I'll put if it's not already there, I'll put a link in the description. Okay, so you guys, I've covered a lot of ground and you guys have been very patient with me. We're not done yet. There's still time. There's still time to ask a question. Just put a few question marks in advance. Okay, we covered this. That I see some that might be a good note. Oh, I see a couple of things that could be a good note to end on. Okay, and I'm going to choose one of them. And we'll save one for next time. Okay, student quote of the week. And it ties in with a cool exercise. And we'll end on this, okay, you guys? And I'm hoping that you guys can see this crystal clear. I will walk you through it no matter what. What we have here is the G major scale. I chose G because it starts down at the 3rd fret, and the way I'm presenting it, it walks up to the 15th fret. Just a nice hunk of the guitar neck. The G major scale on your skinny 1st E string, and every note from the G major scale harmonized on the 3rd treble string, the G string, harmonized with just a lower note that's also from the G major scale. And this technique, this sound, is known as sixths, S-I-X-T-H-S. I've never been comfortable saying that word. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to play it because this is a familiar sound, and it's something that you want to be good at for lots of reasons. Hybrid picking, pick and middle finger. Okay, sixths. All right, so what's going on here? Let's talk about your right hand for a second. My pick just then was always plucking down on the third skinny string, the G string. My middle finger was always plucking up on the first E string. Every single thing I did there, just simultaneously pinching both those things. Watch out. Your pick is stiff, plastic. It makes a loud sound. Your finger is fleshy. It's a softer sound. That means you got to hold the pick a little looser, be a little gentle, and you got to be a little more aggressive with your middle finger so that the two notes have a nice balance. You want to hear the skinny string and the third string equally. It's no big deal, but that's the sum of my advice about your right hand. Could you do it with, say, just your bare thumb and your pointer finger? You could. If you're just not a pick player, yeah, just use your thumb and your pointer and pinch both of those together. That's totally fine. Those of you who do use a pick, now's the time to work on your hybrid picking, meaning pick and finger. Okay, what I really want to talk about is the fretting hand. Okay, so I'm setting myself up on this very first combination. 3rd fret, first skinny E string with my index finger. That's very important. Got to be your index finger. Middle finger at the exact same time, 3rd string, 4th fret. And we're not even worried about whether or not we're touching the 2nd skinny string. In fact, if you lean over and dampen out that 2nd skinny string with the flesh of your middle finger, great. Because we're not going to be playing that string. Actually, dampening out is a good idea, then it won't ring by mistake. Okay. Now we're halfway done because there's only 2 grips, and this is one of them. So this grip, at the moment, I'm illustrating it 3 and 4. My name for this grip is the staggered grip. It's 2 different numbers, 3 and 4. The next grip is this one, 5 and 5. To get to that next grip, that next little thing, this is crucial. If you hear nothing else, hear these words, my friends. It has to involve your middle finger gliding up. Do not lift it off the guitar. Your middle finger glides up to 5, and now your ring joins in. 5 on the first skinny string. I call that grip parallel. I know this works for me. We started with a staggered grip and then parallel. Now those are the only 2 grips, staggered, parallel. 7-7, that's a parallel grip. But then it goes back to staggered, 8 and 9, 10 and 11, where are we? 8, 9, 10, 11, that's staggered. You get up to 12 and 12, it's parallel. The key, I'll say it again, this is life or death. Your middle finger is never going to stop touching the 3rd skinny string. Middle finger G string the whole time. Do not lift it off. Don't do it. Don't do it. It'll slow you down. If you keep that middle finger down, it's going to be your reference point. And just by getting that middle finger to the right place, you're much more likely to be successful about adding on the other note, Okay. Long story short, what's happening on the skinny string is the sound of do, re, mi, What's happening on the 3rd string doesn't have the exact same do, re, mi sound, even though the notes are all notes in the G scale. It happens to start on the note B. So imagine a G scale starting on B. There's a reason why it doesn't have that exact do, re, mi sound. It's because we're not starting, the first note is not the note G. Don't overthink that. But we're harmonizing the G major scale with a note on the 3rd skinny strings, and it sounds so cool. It may evoke that brown-eyed girl sound. This is not literally how brown-eyed girl goes, but when I play it like that, it sure sounds like brown-eyed girl, right? So you want to practice this to work on your hybrid picking. You want to practice this because it's such a cool fingering exercise to swap back and forth between the staggered grip and the parallel grip. This is great for soloing. If you showed up for a lesson and you had written a song in the key of G, I would dance up and down the neck. I mean, quietly while you're performing your song. I would put in, hopefully, tasteful little sounds based on that group right there. It's something about two notes in harmony sounds a million times better than one note. Oh, it sounds so good, you know? Okay, so we'll get to the student quote in a minute. But any questions? No? Sixths. I did it for you a minute ago, ascending. Of course, you want to practice it going backwards as well. If getting up high to the 14s and 15s and 16s is totally awkward on your guitar, don't worry about it. It's the concept here that's important. It's not whether or not you're comfortable playing 15 or 16. Don't worry about that. Then again, for those of you who have a cutaway, maybe playing electric guitar, then yeah, you really should be able to get up to 14 and 15 and 16 without a big problem. So the student quote of the week, I was showing him this, and let me see if I can say, repeat it exactly what he said. He said, "Oh, this makes scales less boring." Yeah, I'll take that. You're still quote practicing your scales, but it just sounds so pretty and so interesting, right? Okay, so yeah, student quote of the week. This makes scales less boring. On the other side of the page is extremely similar thing, but the focus is now on the second and fourth strings. Every note on here is still directly from the G major scale, but it's not beginning on the G note like this one. See, I put a circle right there. That's the note G, and this has a very linear do re mi sound. Just the way the guitar works, when you play this version of it on the second and fourth strings, you don't get to the note G on the second string until that circled note right there, 8 on the B string. Don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. Again, if you are making up a guitar solo or putting in cool little fills, if the song is in the key of G, all of this stuff would sound just as good as all of this stuff. So don't worry too much about everything I just said about the scale and all that kind of stuff. Just practice at a minimum. Just practice what it says right there. You will not regret it. I mean, I've done this for years, and I still think it sounds awesome. And when I'm in a position, someone points at me and expects me to play a little solo, that's one of my tricks, so to speak. I think to myself, hey, is this a time I get to use my sixths? And if it is not, okay. But if it is, like, okay. So I'll leave it at that. But homework, and also it ties in with a student quote of the week. Okay. All right. So my friends, I think look at that. Here in small town Connecticut, it is 7 o'clock on the nose. Time for one last sip. Foxen Park, the cool rippling waters and delightful taste of East Haven, Connecticut. I did find a second Connecticut soda. I might have to try it out. It's a little more expensive than Foxen Park. Hosmer Mountain. Sweetie, do we have any Hosmer Mountain at home? Hosmer, Hosmer Mountain sodas. Might have to do a taste test. Tonight's flavor, gasosa. There you go. Hey, J. Paul, I see your question there. J. Paul, about Bob Marley's Redemption song. I'm pretty sure I did a video. I love Bob Marley, love the song. Off the top, Music Fan says she just had the last Hosmer Mountain. Yes, you're funny. Music Fan, the moderator I'm married to. Thank you, Music Fan. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do a Connecticut soda taste test at some point. I'm sure they're both fantastic, but only one comes from the rolling green hills of East Haven, Connecticut. So Hey, J. Paul, why don't you come on back next week and we'll talk about Bob Marley and the Redemption Song. Number one, just a great song, period. But number two, the guitar solo that kicks off the song, and just the guitar playing in the song in general. There's a lot we can all learn from that. And also, as you know, the guitar is very clear in the recording. Makes a huge difference when you could really hear what's going on in the guitar. Always sounded to me like it was a nylon string guitar that he was playing in that song. All right, you guys. I'd like to take this moment to thank you for being here. Some of you were here for 2 solid hours. I want to thank those of you who asked questions. That's the number one reason I'm here, is to answer your questions. Those of you who made Super Chat donations, thank you. Let's check out our poll results. The question in the poll was, hold on here. Okay. Based on your experience, when should someone begin the guitar? The vast majority of you, 62%, said 5 to 10 years old, in that ballpark. Next down, 29% said between 10 and 15. Only 4% said 15 to 20 years old is a good time to start. And 5% said, hey, 3 years old, why not? You know, very interesting, you guys. Like I said, I could argue in favor of any of those age groups. And clearly it depends on the actual child, right? The actual person. But it's never too soon as long as you have the right attitude, meaning as long as the teacher or the parents have the right attitude, you know. A 3-year-old should certainly explore musical instruments in general, right? Just adjust your expectations. Then again, you know, to be like 15 years old, you've got so many things together, man. Your eyes, your brain, you've heard, you know, years and years of music. You know, nothing wrong with, I didn't start till I was 16. I started the drums when I was 10. But nothing wrong with picking up an instrument at 15 years old, 20 years old. Why not? Wes Montgomery, man. Wes Montgomery, one of the most famous jazz guitarists and one of the most influential jazz guitarists, was late 20s when he started playing the guitar. Now, he came from a very musical family, but I believe he did not play the guitar until his late 20s. Who knows? Who knows? Do me a favor. Check out, when we're all done here, check out the different links in the description of this video. I'll be timestamping it tomorrow. But there's already a bunch of cool links to cool stuff in the description of this video. Okay, I think that's everything I got for you. I don't know. I'll think of something 5 minutes after I say goodnight. Christian, good night. Bob, J. Paul, Randy, Wendy, Candy, Rock Lobster, Chaz. Good night, you guys. Thank you for being here. A to Z, me, Willie. We got 29 of you. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to give a thumbs up. I don't know why, just because you can. You know, we got 32 thumbs up. I'll take it. I'll take 32. You guys, I will see you next Saturday. It will be our 57th live stream, July 20th. I don't know. Why not? We'll have some fun. Okay, you guys, take care. Be well. Play some guitar. Enjoy your weekend. My weekend begins now. Sounds good to me. See you guys next Saturday.